Hello, my name is Edward Brown of the Core Edge Image and Charisma Institute. I want to share with you a letter I received recently from an individual who wanted to know how to get into the charismatic leadership business. And the person started out with congratulatory notes of the work you're doing, the blogs, the videos, all the other particulars that I'm producing. But they got to the bottom line. How do I get into the business? How can I do what you're doing? Or something similar to that. And I said, interesting. And they had an email address, so I emailed back, and had to go back in my own mind how and when did I start loving and embracing this as a lifestyle as well as a body of work that I want to do the rest of my life. And invariably, it's a few things you can do, whether it's this business or any other business that you have to kind of embrace. First and foremost, you have to really ask yourself, why am I doing this? What is my overarching passion for this work, and how does it tie into anything that's relevant to me based on my life experiences? And as I said, I'm a child of the 1970s, so being born in the 1970s, which I believe is probably the most charismatic era I have identified in the annals of humanity, I determined that awakened an imagination to me that I want to know how those charismatic leaders and personalities operated, how they thought, how they make decisions, and how could you transform that to a person who might be an introvert so they can make similar decisions and have the kind of life that that person seemingly is having. So first and foremost, ask yourself, why are you doing it? What is the passion? What is the wherewithal that you want to achieve by doing the thing that you're doing? And I say that because not only does it give you the will to do it, it gives you the will to sustain it when times become hard. I can tell you right now, years have gone by before I have made any money on what I've been talking about. Years have gone by. And when I say years, I'm not talking about one or two, I'm talking about almost a decade before I finally understood what was going on, how to make this thing work, and started making some money at it. So first and foremost, understand that if you don't have passion, love for what you're doing, and throw yourself into it, then it's not going to work because you're going to quit and give up at a certain point in time when it becomes hard. So love it, become one with it, embrace it, be committed to it. Secondly, if you're going to do charismatic work, you really got to understand what has been done up to this point. When I talk about Max Weber, the eminent sociologist, 1864 to 1920, I had to ask myself who was doing the work before now, and how can I add body to the work based on my analysis and my research. You don't want to come in here and be redundant. You don't want to say the same old, regurgitate and talk about what everyone has been talking about. You kind of want to bring other angles to it. You have experience. You can't. If I come from the 70s, obviously I'm gonna have a different dynamic than even Max Weber had in the 1800s. So you have to be that person who loves research, loves ideas, and try to bring those ideas into some kind of pragmatic or practical way that people can understand, one, and two, embrace it from a skill set perspective. And also, three, it's important to find out what people really want. It took me a long time to learn that. I figured everyone want to be charismatic. Who wouldn't want to be the guy who walks to a room or woman who walks to a room and everyone looks at you and says, who's that person? Or everyone wants to be where you are and be around you, or hear you talk about whatever it is you're talking about. Mundane if someone else did it, but interesting when you do it. Who wouldn't want to be that kind of person? But I have found that that's an ideal, but that's not necessarily what people really want. They want what it can do. Can it make me more money? Can it make me more productive? Can I have advancement in life? Can women like me? Can men like me? Whatever the case may be. So those are the things that skill sets like charismatic leadership can give you and provide you. But invariably, you got to see the connections and the tentacles of what people want and tie the concept and ideas to that idea and that those desires and those wants. So those are the things I would suggest to anyone who wants to get into the charismatic leadership business. Start looking at in terms of why you're getting into it, where are the gaps and the holes that you can fulfill, and where can you actually apply the needs based on what people want so that you can actually be the giant in the field and succeed. Now, somebody say, well, why are you telling our secrets? Because it's a human development. Last year was a $60 billion year industry. 21% of that was leadership development. That means that if you took $12 to $25 billion a year of resources or took a training of that magnitude, that's the 21% $25 billion industry. $25 billion industry. If I, in my wildest dreams, $25 billion just doing what I do would be great. But what happens when people like yourself come into the industry and you add value to it? Not only do you illuminate the industry itself or the concept, but you also illuminate those people who are doing what they have been doing for a long time. So I don't feel threatened by competition. I love competition. Matter of fact, I compete against anybody on any level when it comes to my ideas, my perspective. So no, I share this information because I think if you want to, the more people, the better. No one can actually take this thing by itself to where I see it going. You're going to have the perspective about charismatic leadership. I'm going to have this one. Somebody else going to have to. The more difference we have, the more people start saying, you see the viability of the options it presents. So that's why I welcome you on to say that this is something that you might want to get into or learn more about. If you want to be more charismatic, influential, and persuasive, there's a link below that you can actually sign up for getting free updates and research on what we're doing over here. And again, if you want more information, contact me anytime. My link is also below.